Okay, we are now live with August 4th level design stream. Hello, Spherical Penguin. Let me first post this on Twitter, let everyone know that we are now live, as I always do at the beginning of the stream. Okay. I have now done that. Let me know how the audio is. The OBS was disconnecting quite a bit during the pre-stream, so I'm a little bit worried, but I think we should be good. So anyway, what I want to do is show you guys. Alright, so first of all, give me a second, I'm going to turn off the AC. It's not really that... Okay, now here we go. So what I want to do is first show you guys what this current level looks like. So I've done quite a bit of work on it last night after the stream, and I'm very happy with where it's at right now. And I want to just take a second to talk about sort of where I think there are some problems, what I think is good, and what I think still needs a lot of work. Hello, Metal Gun Talk. How's it going? Alright, so let's jump into this level. Cool, and I really like the way it looks, and I've added a lot of details, and I also talked about some of the details that I think work really well. Alright, so this is what the level looks like. So a few things. One is, like, yesterday, Main Jack kept talking about extending the staircase to connect them, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And then I realized he was just saying extending them out, and it actually works really well to have, you know, if you were here yesterday, there was like a piece that opened, and then there was a gap, and then there'd be like this another piece that extended out, and I realized, you know, you could just connect them all, and that actually looked a lot better. So you had this, like, basically this one continuous giant staircase going either up or down. And of course the big revelation from yesterday is that we can have really thick floors, which is important visually, and also from a navigation standpoint it allows players to walk on the side like that. But now we are gonna talk about the outside space. Okay, first of all, that is a very cool screenshot. You know, I don't even need the fan on. Hey, it's Gil Neshi. Yeah, I know. John Blow is streaming right now. So I do not blame you. But thank you all for stopping by today. I know there's a ton of stuff competing for your attention, HUD. So, anyway, I think this is a really, really cool screenshot. We should capture that. Right, so some of the things I also really like about the inside is this double column that we got. I think that's a really nice touch. So what's kind of cool is that this breaks up, you know, the pacing with every corner, so it doesn't actually feel very weird, but it's kind of nice basically having that stair come back around. But really big fan of the two columns in the corner. So anyway, let's come outside. So yeah, this definitely looks like one of those crazy apartment complexes in Hong Kong. Now, what I found that's really important is having this little, this segment, this horizontal bar going across. Because you'll see here where we don't have the horizontal bar going across, is that it actually doesn't feel as tall, if that makes sense. Like the horizontal bar really helps break it up and kind of gives you something to count down. Oh, right, T15. Oh, Spherical Penguin, I'm glad that you think the stream is always a learning experience. It's actually always a learning experience for me as well. Are the neighboring structures optimally rendered? Like, only when in view and self-only in collision checked when near? They are not. They probably could be more optimally rendered. They are not. I would not describe them as optimally rendered now. We have done some optimization with it, but I think more can be done. So, yeah, I really, like, if you just look at the way kind of these break it up, gives it like a much nicer look than this. Now, the thing is, I don't actually want that continuous wall of extension. I want these breaks in between. So, there is some stuff. I'll have to have David to come on the stream and answer more detailed questions about how the optimization stuff is being done. I have a rough idea, but it's not... I can't answer, like, super technical questions about it. But it does allow me to change it all in real time, which is really great. So anyway, what I want to do first is I am actually going to break this up so that we have, like... I'm actually going to have another segment because I don't want every piece to extend out. Only some of them will. But that means that some of these need to actually look like they are... some of these need to just sort of end. So I actually, like, what I'm saying is I actually want another corner here. Now, what you'll notice with the corners is that these are 6... Oh, first of all, this is screwed up. Because that should be... So that's 7. That's 6. Oh, I got a bit of a dilemma here. Alright, I think that's what that should look like. Actually, no. Okay, so basically the problem I'm having right now is that these are 7, these are 6, right? And what I have them is that these are slightly now... What I probably should do is just make them the same. How do I explain this? It's like I have these outside corners are a lot bigger. And the inside ones are a lot smaller, these columns, and now it's like, what do I do for this column that is neither an inside or an outside corner? What I think should happen is I think it should just be, because the problem with this 6 corner piece is that it actually is a lot bigger, because it means that if you want to make it even on all 4 sides, that it ends up having to be an 8 by 8 top piece, which would make it then bigger than the corner piece, which is not what I want. This is what I mean, right? Like, if you were to extend this out so it's even on both sides, you'd actually get an 8 by 8 piece. Now, of course, what I could do is simply make this center piece slightly bigger and have it come out like that. And then that actually would solve this issue. Or, actually, you know what? I was wrong. Actually, it should be... This should just be a lot smaller. So that it should always be... The unit should always be one... You should always only have one more here as opposed to two. Right. That makes sense, actually. There we go. Because it's the spacing of the middle part of the column that is important and not sort of this base area. And because we are working with prefabs, it's a really nice where I can just go inside and fix it and have the change apply to everything. So, right, so that means that, right, so this should actually be, no, this should be in section, yeah, right, so this should actually be this. So this would, the base would actually be 5 by 5 by 5, so that way we would have these columns consistent in size, but still smaller than the corner. Hello, High Side, how's it going? Virus 675, hello. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of host Willie High P. Hello, Baku Freak. Oops. Yeah, thanks for hosting, High Side. Alright. Domino, I do not speak German, so I have no idea what you just said. Okay, so we're basically making all of these columns a lot smaller. And also the spacing in between these is 12 units. Which, let me see if this is... So that's 16. Wait a minute, okay, so that should be... Okay, so that's actually 13 right now. Let me line this up and test. Oh wait, this is 14 units? Right. Ah, I see. Okay, so I made the top, yeah. So it's actually really important to get the proportions right, because if you screw up, it kind of causes this like really weird effect where you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know something is off. I believe Zigalneshi lives in Germany. Alright, so, okay, so right. Now I've totally forgotten, like, so see, this is 6 units. That's 6, 2, 4, 6. So I know that's 16. Alright, so that's 16, that's 22 on the inside. So that's 22 for this piece. And then here we've got a piece that's, so I guess it's like actually 14 on the inside. Which I think I do want to keep. Alright, so this piece we should actually make it. Though of course this is due to actually, I'm kind of tripping over myself on the size of this stuff. All right. Okay, so this piece should actually be, that's 13. But we have made it smaller, so actually it would be 15. Right, because so right now the distance between this column and that column is 14. But if we were, but that's because this one's actually slightly bigger than normal. And if we were to make it the same size, it would actually be, so there'd be 1 unit. Alright, let's try this. And if it feels okay, we'll just go with it. So it should be here. Hey, Crazy Raz 91, how's it going? And yeah, Forest 675. Okay. So we now have this. Okay, so see this here, this guy should be one of the larger pieces. So that is 7, right. That might have been a bit of a mistake on my part to make these corner pieces larger. Okay. Are you using the linear or gamma color space? I'm actually not too sure what you were talking about. Oh, Crazy Raz. Yeah, I haven't seen you here in a while. Normally it's, yeah, well, I do just the same time every weeknight. But it has been quite busy for me. So, alright, I think that looks good. Oh, right, of course, this should kind of extend out a little bit more. No way, we screwed up on the positioning of this one. Okay, here we go. This is, now this is fixed. Now the spacing is fixed. So that should be 3. Is that... Okay, and now I know, so now this piece should come back down. Right. Alright, that should give us about 3 units of space. Okay, here we go. That's the right. Oh man, 4:50 in the morning. Yeah, I think, well, I was planning on doing it. I've been, my schedule's kind of a little crazy in the afternoon. I see, but Mr. Saturn 01, what would be the point of modifying the color space? I'm actually not sure what the difference between linear and gamma is. So I would like to start doing one day where it's earlier in the afternoon for me. So, because right now it's like 8:30 p.m. for me. And the reason why I'm doing that is just because, like, there's always kind of a lot of stuff going on in the day, so that can be a little bit unpredictable. But if it's 8:30 p.m., you know, there aren't like meetings or stuff. But I'm thinking maybe I would take like Wednesday and stream in the morning as well. Which one could have? So let's see, player, build settings. Build settings. Player settings. I don't see the color space thing that you're talking about. Yeah, like build settings. Oh, there it is. Player settings. And you're talking about... I'm in gamma space. Should I be... Hello, son of G-Dace. Should I be in linear space? Let me see. Yeah. We should be in gamma space. Interesting. No one's ever talked about color space before. A suggestion, saw you have those beams, so my idea was to make a bridge by putting the cube so you can pass that room. Which room are you talking about? Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, you know, a lot of my shaders have sort of been... I didn't actually even know I could change color space. And a lot of my shaders have, I think, been refined based on... have been built based on current settings, so... Alright, let's move this piece. Let's copy it and move it over. Again, now we want 3 units of it kind of on the outside, so that does mean... Actually, this means that this should be here. Likewise with this piece. Okay, now let's just... Right, forgot to update the other side. Yeah, so the nice thing with working with this repetitive geometry and using prefabs is you can just make a change to one instance, hit apply, and then kind of see that change propagated throughout the entire level, which is really nice. Kind of works really well for what I'm doing. Let's get in here and extend out this face and this one. Alright, so we need to update the section piece, the corner section. We also need to update the AA section. As you can see, I've been running out of names for sections. It was originally Section A, and then I wanted to do a variation of it, so then I named it Section AA. It was a general idea. Okay. Be cool if you can create objects in the world. I'm not sure how that will work with wall wrapping. I am planning on... You know, one of the things I'm actually looking at is making a level editor. There's no promises. We are looking at... Basically, it would just be having ProBuilder in runtime. We would take out a lot of the stuff like... So there wouldn't be material editor, there wouldn't be UV editor, there wouldn't be smoothing, no merge, no mirror, no flip normal. What we would do is basically give you this kind of the create box, extrude faces. I think UV vertex coloring just so you can... I probably want to do something that's a little bit more refined. I don't know. We'll see. But basically what I want to do is kind of make like a simplified version of ProBuilder that people can play with at runtime and make levels, because I think that would actually be something that's really, that a lot of people would be really excited about. Wait a minute, this is... Okay, yeah, first of all, this B should come out like that. Yeah, because and then what it would do is it would like automatically merge everything, and create the, you know, the world wrapping, and you can change the settings of it too. So I'm actually thinking like you could have the ability to change wrapping rotation. Linear rendering. Linear rendering refers to a rendering scene with all inputs being linear. Interesting. Interesting. When you have authored a project for rendering gamma space, at first it will most likely look not correct if you change it to linear rendering. Because of this, if you move to linear rendering from gamma rendering, it may take some time to update the project so it looks as good as it was before, but the switch ultimately enables more consistent and realistic rendering. Seems like we dismissed it too early, so I will have to look into that some more. I think that might be not something I'm totally ready to make the switch to yet. Hello, mini metaler. How's it going? By the way, thanks for the link to Ganeshi. Right now we are working on a level. I think now that this should be. No, let me add in few more details. We're basically trying to figure out how these exterior columns should work. And yeah, kind of I think we're almost done with this current level, but there's still a few details that are really important that I need to get right. Alright, so yeah, see that what just happened was that because it was off grid, ProBuilder like made it switch to the 0.125 grid instead of the the 0.25 grid, which I was on before. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and bring these pieces down. Click, 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 click. Duplicate them, drag them over to the other side. And of course, because for some reason now we are off by 1. What the heck? Okay, it seems I have screwed up yet again. This should actually be... Okay, so I guess this is supposed to be... Right, no, this should have been... Alright, it seems I screwed up on the left side. The stream is behind... No, well, yeah. Don't forget to use the linear color space with deferred rendering for even better graphics. Thanks for the heads up, by the way, Mr. Saturn. I'm gonna make a note of that. Linear rendering with linear color space with deferred rendering. By aligning individual horizontals in each bay. Yeah, there is a lot of hidden faces. It's not this right now. The way I'm building it is not the most efficient way to do it. However, it is the most easy way. It is the easiest way for me to make changes. So actually, one of the things that I'm talking to David about, David is the programmer who's been helping me with optimization and editor tools, is sort of automating this process of going through the scene and deleting hidden faces. That is something that we are working on. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of frustrating. I'm like getting all the numbers wrong. Okay, so between this piece and that is 15. No, it should be, you know what, it should be 15 for everybody. It should be 15 regardless of the size of the pillar. But that does mean that this should be... Okay. Yes. Alright, so this should be like that. Oh, man. Okay, I might just need to start over with this part because there's too many things here and it's blocking my view. Let's just go ahead and delete these pieces so I can actually see what's going on. Alright, so first of all, this should be... That's 4 units, that's 5. Okay, no. So, this is the problem, is that we actually... Right, so that's 5, 7, 5, 7. This should be 4 and 6. Alright, so what was tripping me up was I had this set at 5, but that was because on the inside it didn't actually jut out. So yeah, right now to... hey, Ed Riofer. No, I am not working on lighting right now. I'm just kind of doing... Hello, Mini Metaler. I'm basically building this level right now, but I use this tool called Pro Builder, which is really actually modeled after Hammer's way of doing level design. Alright, it looks like it's going to be 15.5. And... so this is 4. That should be 6. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave this for now. No, wait. This needs to get moved over by half a unit. That's what was going on. And yeah, I'm just doing level design, kind of like getting the dimensions right. And I think this is very different than what Unreal does actually. Yeah, like this guy Joe Wintergreen just talked about it. He said he's like a level designer. I think he used to work in AAA, but he was saying that Hammer is really the only engine that's got good level design tools. Like a lot of, I think Unreal does like modular. Okay, so that's 13. Wait, what? This is 13 and that... Okay, wait a minute. So this is 15. But how is this 15 minus 2? Because this isn't properly aligned. There we go. Okay, so that's, if this is 13, this should be 14. Right, okay, and this is how, and then this should actually be, this should be 16. There we go. Okay, this is, we are getting there. Whew. And then this would be 13. So let me move this, align this, and then this actually needs to get moved out by half a unit. So now we can have, right, 13, oops. Yeah, he was just saying how like a lot of the modular level design methods that Unreal encourages sort of requires you to be both a level designer and a 3D artist, which is actually pretty hard to do. Okay, now we just gotta... No, see, so this side we had it correct. This should be... Right, so this should be 13. This side is correct. And... No, wait, never mind. Let's move this over. So this should be... ProBuilder is pretty good, but updating is really... It's, wow, okay, the chat is going too fast for me to catch up. Let me read through some of this. Okay. Can't I just use occlusion culling to not render hidden faces? So the problem with, we will do occlusion culling eventually. The problem right now is that it's actually, with this game, there's a lot of open spaces, so you can kind of see quite a bit, so you can see quite far in the distance. Like, it's not like a lot of levels in other games where you have like a big wall that's just blocking something, so you know that's a collider. So there's actually some planning that we need to do to make occlusion culling super efficient, because the way I understand it is if you don't do occlusion culling right, it can actually be more, like, just calculating the occlusion stuff can be not super efficient. ProBuilder, it does take a pain to update. Are you talking about updating the actual, when you update a new version of ProBuilder? Yeah, updating is really annoying. We're actually having David is actually kind of going through that right now. He went through it, but like one of the things I want him to do is trying to figure out if there's a way to optimize it. It used to be a lot easier back in Unity 4 and the earlier versions, but now it's like you gotta download an upgrader, go through each scene, remove ProBuilder scripts, save it somewhere else, and then you have to go through every scene and then like come back and reinstall it and have like reset ProBuilder in every scene, which is hugely time consuming. Instead of thinking of the horizontals as decorative add-ons, maybe think of floor palette so that it's a single shape that overlaps the enclosure. Yes, I will. Yeah. Then just place the duplicated columns at the floor plate corners. Right. Yeah, I'm just still trying to figure it out. The thing is, like, I don't know if the columns are totally what I want to go with. So, a lot of this right now is like I'm not totally sure right now. Eventually, yes, you're right. I would kind of come back in and have it make sense. But yes, the columns should be on the corners. Right. So yeah, like as you said, the with Unreal, you do need to model stuff in other 3D programs and then bring it in. Yeah, I mean the only thing with so this is to answer to talk about Rory 1. You are absolutely right. It should be on a grid. The problem is I chose to make this like slightly larger. I made the corner pieces slightly larger, and it's just confusing the heck out of me. probably not enough of a difference to justify the pain that it is causing, so we might... How do I make the editor and game view so different is because at runtime there's just a lot of scripts that get applied at the beginning. Like this is vertex coloring, which is not a material. I think it's more his internet. I think it's Ed Riofer's internet that is really the culprit here. But yeah, you know what? I am... It's also like the corner section is slightly bigger, so the columns are not totally aligned there. It's like I've got like two different grid sizes. What would probably be a smart thing for me to do is just figure that out now. And kind of stick with it, but we are almost done messing around here. All right, so that's 14. So see, this should be, yeah. Like I think what I'm gonna do next is actually make this, because it's actually kind of a pain to work with. I'm actually gonna make the corner columns the same size as the columns that are here, and just add something else to the visual of it to make it a little bit more impressive. Oh man, not so sure you are able to watch. I am streaming at 1080. Hold on. Let me just check the stream quality. On the Twitch dashboard, it does say stream configuration quality is excellent. So I apologize, Ed Riofer, for your problems that you are having. Actually, like, because the problem right now is that these are not super big, these corner columns. So maybe what I should do is make them a lot bigger, fix everything to a grid, and make it a lot bigger. But anyway, so I've done enough tweaking. Let's go ahead and just see what it looks like now. Okay. That looks good. And now, of course, what I need to do is go through all the floors and make the run through our custom mesh duplication script and hit play. I will, when I go to TwitchCon in September, I will find someone from Twitch and ask them. Alright, this is our game view. Yeah, so there's like a ton of stuff that happens right at the start of the level that affects how it just applies a ton of shaders to it. Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do is we're going to actually do what Rory suggested. And we're going to actually make everything on a grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the corner columns just actually twice the size of these other columns. And we're going to add a whole bunch of stuff to them so that the corner columns really stand out as opposed to like the inside columns like this one. And then we're gonna kind of go ahead and fill in the gap in between. God, what a nightmare. I think the inside might look a little too busy. I'm not sure. I think it's fine. Like, there's a lot of horizontal lines. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, part of it is I sort of need these steps to add some variation to the level height, but it does cause a ton of these lines in here, which maybe is not a bad thing. It just looks very busy. Hey, Red Bulbs, how's it going? I'm good. Yeah, we're just kind of wrestling with the details of this level. How do I address floating point precision? I don't necessarily do that, and it is a bit of a problem. The corners. Oh, I see. Right, they're just much bigger pillars, right? Which is what I think I will do. Yeah, alright, Spherical Penguin, I will see you later. Yeah, I do want it busy. I just don't know if it's too much. I'd have to play test it, of course. But yeah, the outside does look really cool. I do think there can be variations in these outside columns. Otherwise, it looks a little too samey. So, addressing the floating point precision stuff would take a hit on performance. Right, so actually what we're going to do for this one is I'm going to move these this one corner section out. Wait, actually, let's first let's disable the other guys just so I can see. And we're going to let's move this back in. And align this. Okay, so let's these inside ones, they will be for the okay, yeah, it would actually really help to just define it correctly for once and not be lazy. All right, so these inside columns, it's going to be for that. There's also this can get fixed. All right, so it's going to be 4 by 4 on the inside column, and then the top and bottom base is going to be 6 by 6. This is how this column is going to work, and this is going to be kind of a boring piece here. And then, of course, so what's going to happen is when it's in the corner, we are going to see, oops. So I should see it stick out by 2 on both faces. So basically protruding from the outside wall is 2 units. Okay, and the gap between them is going to be, we're going to make it 16 when you were correct. Okay, so now what this means is I want this center pillar to be way bigger. So let's go ahead, and instead of just having it larger by 1 unit, let's just go ahead and make it like, let's make it like 8. Yeah, so it's significantly bigger. Yeah, what's the someone just said Mr. Saturn was talking about floating point precision, and that it could possibly take hit on a hit on performance. I'm not actually too sure. They're like floating point problem comes in a number of places. So what I'd like to do here is actually make this like just a gigantic. So we'll actually have these. So the corner one will actually not only be twice the size of. So yeah, so this is what our corner pieces are going to look like. They're going to look significantly bigger than. The more likely it is that they should be L shapes. What do you mean? What's an L shape? Oh. Is this what you're talking about? Having the column be like this? So they can wrap inner and outer corners. I see. The thing is, I don't actually want it to wrap. Like, I want the inner corner to. I don't actually want it to turn the corner. I want, like, what I want is these pieces to really stick out, and then these ones will just have smaller corners. Is this going to be co-op? Are you talking about this game? I do have ideas for a first-person multiplayer arena shooter based on this mechanic. Hello, Game Vivo. The thing is, I don't really want it. Are you saying that I should use an L? Like, I do actually want it to show up on the inside. I do want it to break up the space in here as well, so that it's not, so that even on the inside I don't just get like a square room. I do kind of like this here. Yes, delete that. If that makes any sense. Because the thing is, I want the inner ones to be a lot smaller. If you make another social media like Facebook, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but the thing with the arena shooters, of course, it would be more like Splatoon, but I'm actually gonna take a week this summer to. The L can be thick enough. But if I do the L, then why, like, what would be the point here? You know? Because if I'm going to have this on the inside, then it's going to be, it is going to be, then I might as well have it as a square, you know what I mean? How about every complexity I would have to... Oh, probably not. I don't know, Game Vivo. Oh, so I don't know why you were asking about making the next big social media empire on this stream, because I do not have any idea. Like if I... So Rory 1, if I have the L... and I want it to show up on the inside, then like what would be the point of making... Yeah, so yeah, that's right. Like I do want the protruding corners on the inside. How long does it take for floating point issues to appear? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Place closures between the walls then. Rory 1, I think you're using a lot of... I'm not actually a real architect or know that much about architecture, so I'm not super sure what the terms you're using. Like, I'm not... What do you mean by closure between... Closure walls between? Right, I'm not sure what you mean by closure walls. Oh, if you kept on falling, there's actually no problem with that. It doesn't have it. There's no floating point errors with that. We've got that fixed. So the answer is that just doesn't happen. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, when you're a real architect. I'm just like messing around here, so I don't. I do have enclosure as the interior, right? So this is one of the. I did went to the library today and got a bunch of books. So Tadao Endo's book, Fractal Architecture. I'm very excited about this one. The Shape of Space, which actually deals with imagining like how to visualize four-dimensional geometry. And finally, well, Timeless Way of Building, which I think is more about design. And then this book is just called Dimensions. Tsiganeshi, please do not expose the secrets of my world. You seem to make the wall first and then try to add the columns. Reverse of the way it should be. Oh, right. Okay. So, well... Part of the reason is that you're not... This isn't really like the final form of the level yet. And I just start off with an idea and then we keep tweaking until something fits right. So, right, yeah. I see what you mean. I should put the columns in there first, and then add the walls. That's actually probably that's actually probably how I should be. No, you're 100% right, and I think that's how I should be approaching the level design from now on, because that would make my life a lot easier. Right, like, I never intended on having the columns at first. That's the thing. It was like I was just making this, and then when we got outside, it looked too boring. So I added the columns, and then that... Visually, that made the whole thing a lot stronger. But of course, by then, I already had sort of the walls in place. Okay, so... This is how it's all laid out now. Right, so these should be on a grid. Okay, let me see if I can try to start doing that. So... Right, okay, so now if this were a normal size pillar, it'd be this, it would look like this, and we would actually see the distance between them. So it would be 23 units in between them. In between the First of all, that should be... No, it'd be 22 between the top part. Okay, which is that's the grid that we should be working on. So thank you, Rory1, for that suggestion. Actually, then yeah, no, we should totally do that. Oh yeah, no. I was just totally kidding about the secret, because. I mean, Alex got it from reading somewhere, and then I got it from him, and then people have gotten it from me. Yep. Yeah. What up? All right, let's do this the right way. Let's do this the right way. Let's stop trying to... Amateur hour is now over. And, okay. Okay, so let's bring this in here. Yeah, so actually, like, I'm starting this artist residency at the University of Illinois here, UIC, University of Illinois Chicago, and it's in the New Media Arts Department, which is actually in the architecture building. And so now I have access to like a university library, and then part of this residency is they're going to connect me with architects so I can talk to them. Hey, Tiny Angry Crab, so I want to like start talking to them about this stuff. Will you add a final boss in the game? There isn't really, it's not really a game that makes sense to have a boss in it. There aren't enemies, so there is the equivalent of a boss. By the way, if any of you are new and are watching this game, watching the stream and enjoying it, you should follow on Twitch. Have I considered putting little procedurally generated maps on the walls of the Library of Babel? All of them are wrong. No, I don't know. That's too anti-chamber. Like screwing with the player. Okay, so let's bring this into... Let's just make a pillar, make it a prefab, and just stick with it. Yes. So pillar, library, pillar world 26, library. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this a prefab, so we can kind of always come back to this. Yes, actually that's actually kind of a, now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually kind of a really important approach, which is probably why I've been having so many problems designing these levels, is making the, I should put the columns on the grid first and then putting the walls, and I've been doing it like that. Seems really simple. I have to be honest, when Rory 1 talked about that, I was like what's the big deal? And now I'm realizing that's totally why I've been screwing up, is because I didn't have the these pillars on a grid, and it was like confusing the heck out of me. Alright, so actually first what we're gonna do is move all of them to, yeah, it is very architectural. I should get better at, okay, so yeah, I mean, you know what, maybe I can even do, you know what? This is actually a really good time now to... You know what? Since pillars are so important, let's... Actually, you know what? Let's write a script. And what I'm going to have the script do is just place these pillars on a grid. Oh, okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is let's write let's just like place a whole bunch of these columns on a grid, and then that way we'll just like superimpose it on top of this, and then it's like I can always just see if that grid aligns. So okay, let's create an empty object. We'll call it pillar grid generator. This is the stuff I love, these sort of like tiny changes in the way you think that has a huge impact So let's make this a C# script. Pillar grid generator. Move it into my script folder. And this is going to be pretty simple because all it is going to... all that it's going to do is just duplicate everything on a grid, which is... okay, it should be in the procgen folder. Right, check out. Don't get latest. Okay, so mega colossal. All right, where is my procgen script? Pillar grid generator. I accidentally named it pill grid generator. Okay, reload all. And now we are going to look at the pasta tile generator. All right. Start. Alright, so grid generated. Just false. Right, so I want to... it's in the Z and X direction. Okay, so these are how many we want to duplicate in each direction. The distance, I think it would be a good idea to have it be different in X and Z, just to give us a little bit more room. I guess the starting position should be 0, 0, 0. Yeah, why not? And we will put them in a parent object. Now, I do remember we had problems with that. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead. All right, and this should be execute in edit mode. So what happened to my project folder? What do you mean by project folder? In this case, I don't want all the nodes of a grid to be a column. You want a column only on the shape of the floor plate, but aligned to a grid. Right, no. So I don't want all the nodes of the grid to be a column. What I'm doing is I'm going to generate this column of grids, right? I'm just going to have it above here. And that way it can, where we want the grids, we're going to move it down into, like, that way I can just test to see if where my columns are actually aligned to the grid. The project folder is actually on the second monitor. So I moved it away just because it's, so it's not missing. It's actually just for streaming when I have, to have more space to make the scene view a lot bigger. Because it's like I use the scene hierarchy a ton. I use the inspector a ton, but I don't really use the project folder, at least in the stream itself. So now I know I'm going to have problems with this because I think we learned last time there was some problem with the way I was creating this game object. But let's go ahead and you can pretty much just copy this guy over. Create a game object to use as a parent. So grid generated. If grid hasn't been generated, then so that's int I system1. Wait a minute. What is this code? If I equals to 0, I is less than duplicate number x, I plus plus, and and then we would go through this and do it for z. So I like to use k. So that should be. Why is this? Oh right, you know what? Because I want to start from the other side as well. That's right. Number x. So I'm not going from 0. I'm going from -1 because I want it to kind of come in from the other side as well. And this is grid generated true transform clone. That's oh right. So our pillar unit public transform pillar unit. So instantiate pillar unit. Distance x, distance z, that'll be I. Right, does that, no wait, we have it's just distance here. Distance x, distance z. Returning an identity, okay. Let's give this a go. Because I want to save this. Just because when generating all this stuff, sometimes it sometimes there's a bug and you end up getting stuck in this loop. Have I ever used serialized field? Yes. Yes, I do use serialized field, I'm just lazy. You were probably looking for a better response. I do not claim to be a good coder at all. Okay, so first let's disable that. Again, let's say we want everything on a 5x5x, and we want it 5x5 grid, and we'll have it at 22 units. I think that's a good number. The first group was wrong. What? For int this, for then that. Oops. All right. That should be. Do not watch this stream for to learn about programming. Watch it for the occasional random level design insights. Well, right, because I forgot to change it. It should not be in it shouldn't be in the y-axis. And also, I do want that pillar grid. Right. So that's actually in the x-axis. There we go. But at least we know our script is working. Yeah, but you know, I'm not even using this loop in the in runtime, right? It's just in the editor to generate this stuff. Boom. There is our, so let's disable this guy. There is our pillar grid, which we can now use to check if things are aligned. Except I actually want it to be a lot wider. Right, like this. Let's see here. Where is this guy? This is corner 3, and right, this I want to move into here. Oh, right. Okay, so first of all, we would actually start from the center of this piece to the center of this. Okay, so that is distance of 28. So the distance between pillars should actually be 28. So let's run our pillar grid generator. I also don't think I need that many. And it should be 28. And, alright, let's hit play, come back around. Hey, Brandon Dyer. Is your libgdx question directed at me? If so, I have not used libgdx. Alright, there we go. This is our grid. This is a little bit messy. So I'm not super sure how this can be helpful to me. Because what I'm realizing is that the starting position is not... Like, my grid is a little bit weird. Okay. Let's make this... Yeah, right. Okay, there we go. So all the grids should now be aligned to this. Might be easier to use the grid and make all new walls and floors within. You are probably right. Hold on, I'm just trying to decide what the best way to do this is. Right. Just I already have so much stuff here. I mean, I think what I'm gonna do is just line it up so that it's like you know what? I know what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna not have like a huge thing. I'm going to generate it so that it's just like a simple 3x3, and then what we can do is move it into places where we want to check the grid and just use that to test. And then in the future I would actually do another one where we start with grid. There we go. So let's disable this, and then so see, now this is a little bit easier for me to work with. And then what I can do is just be like, well, let's see, this should be lined up right. It's like if I want to test this or whatever. I mean, I think the big mental breakthrough is that I should have the grids, I should have the pillars on a grid first and then add the walls, right? So see, now this is a good system because it's like, well, yeah, now I know this, like that piece fits, because I think it used to get Archimatrix modeler for UD. 2D shapes are primary and 3D objects get... Well, okay, so the thing is, part of this right now is that it's a very one direction, one gravity oriented level. I think some of them get a little bit more complex. Right. Actually, so it's with this one, I'll show you, I think I'll have to show you in another stream, but they get to become more non-single gravity oriented. But yes, I think I see what you mean. Yeah, like I think having those tools, I mean, a lot of them seem to be more just like design paradigms, like learning to think correctly with it. So okay, so see, this is really helpful because now I know it's like, well, this second one right, that second piece needs to come out here. All right, so the corner sections are all good. Right, let's go ahead and just check. Is that... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and delete these two pieces and actually just bring in the bring in what I have as a pillar. Really wish there was like a much faster way to go through this list. So that's pillar section. By the way, Rory1, how's what do you okay, hold on, let me check those images in just a minute. But tell me a bit more about this this plugin that you're making. It sounds really intriguing. I would like to check it out. So Rory1. Oh, fascinating. Huh. So this is made with your... Interesting. Whoa, what? Okay. I would like to... Is this available yet? So, Rory 1 is currently working on Archimatrix. Oh man, you even have a floor repeater. Interesting, interesting. Huh. Yeah, because I'm not even doing anything super complex like parametric modeler for Unity. Not okay, it's not yet available. Alright, so let's make this our corner section. Have that. I think this should be applied to everybody. Oops, and we applied the fuck. Okay. Well, I am an idiot. These two should have been in section corner. Looks like I've screwed myself over with this weird thing I was doing. Alright, let's move this piece in here. Okay. And I guess let's lower the pillar grid, and then we can move this guy back where it rightfully belongs. And now let's hit apply. Okay. Everything is... except for this guy. Okay, there we go. This is fixed. So now that is what this level looks like. And then we're going to start working on section AA and it's... okay, let's move the pillar grid up for... right, so I know now, right, like... let's disable this first. So, first of all, so what is this? This is section A, double A. So I want to move this one pillar grid up into section double A. And let's have them, alright, that's where this guy needs to be. And then the second one, okay, this second piece needs to be here. Where is this from? Let's okay, let's delete you. Let's delete you as well. Hey guys! Alright, graphical scripting of 3D objects. Yeah! Did somebody call me an idiot or something? It's just the glasses. Very true. Okay, so... Right, here we go. Six, two... Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to end the stream around here now. It is, since it is 10 p.m. now. But I think this was a good place, so I guess we learned how to work with pillars. Proper pillar placement. That's our lesson for today. And then, right, so see, now this makes a lot more sense to just, like, move the wall over and have it fit. Come on. Oh, there we go. Right. Yep. Yeah, this is gonna make things a lot easier. Yeah, and even it's like, okay, well, so for example, what about this next? Okay, yeah, right, like, see, this guy needs to be out here, but I can just take this and bring it down. So let's go ahead and delete this guy here. Alright, I am going to rest my eyes for a bit. And thank you all for checking out the stream. If you are new and are enjoying the game, make sure to follow and or stream. Sorry, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about it. Yeah. Anyway, Pillar Grids. Thank you again, Rory1. Arca Matrix is the tool. Love to learn more about it. Let us know when it's available. Be very, very happy to check it out. Open source game with few hundred volunteers, AAA quality. Mr. Saturn, I do not think that is possible. Knowing how insanely difficult it is to make a game, even by yourself, and open projects are, I do not think it is possible. I think you still need like someone to kind of guide it. Cool. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Central Time.